Today, let's talk about something that is quite practical but also quite realistic. Let's try and answer one simple question. The question being, why do we say we're going to do certain things and not actually go around and do it? Why do we go around making promises that end up being a facade because we aren't as committed to the cause as we should be? That's what I'd like us to answer. Firstly, what is the main objective or goal of us even making that promise to ourselves, right? What is actually going to be the driving force for you to achieve that which you say that you want to do? Let's make a simple example, right? I mean, if I sleep in the evening and say that I am going to exercise when I wake up, it can happen that I don't actually get to exercise for a number of reasons. Number one, willpower, right? I wake, the alarm goes off in the morning. When the alarm goes off, I'm not ready to wake up. Let's be realistic, guys. There are times that in the morning, it's time to wake up. You know you've made a commitment to yourself, your body, and your health, but you don't actually go out and achieve that thing because there's no willpower behind it. You know, there's nothing that says jump out of bed, particularly in the winter, right? Because that's when the bulk of us, the majority of us, that's when we become bulkier and there's more majority of our bodies, right? And the reason is because we lack willpower. Secondly, we lack objectivity or the ability to reason enough to say, let's weigh the pros and the cons. What is more advantageous given whether I get to actually do what I say that I'm going to do? Number one, if you actually get up and you weigh the pros and cons, you'll actually wait up to say, hey, if I actually wake up, I'll have more energy for the day, I'll be better prepared, I'll have more hours versus my counterparts. You know, I would have achieved something that I made out to achieve before I even went to bed, which is a key thing to want to strive for, right? But why is it then we don't actually do it? It's because of that objectivity to weigh the pros and the cons. So we'd rather listen to our inner selves and our passive selves. Another important key component is that we are not looking at the end goal. What is the reason for me to want to achieve this particular thing? Goes back to drive again, right? Because once you've established what's the core reason, or your core objective and purpose for doing it or for wanting to do it, then you'll basically go out to achieve it. It's an interlink, you know, because when you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you don't actually do it, you're also killing your spirit. So your spiritual health gets affected, your emotional health gets affected, because imagine the boost in hormones that will make you happy had you woken up and actually achieved what you said you were going to achieve. And of course, your physical health, if the goal was related to your physical health, such as the example I made of exercise. Now, the other key thing is that we don't have it actually written down and we don't have a solid plan as to how we are going to achieve it. Because say we actually made this promise to ourselves on a Sunday evening. On that Sunday evening, we went out, made that promise to ourselves and said that tomorrow I'm waking up and I'm exercising and I'm doing it for the next 3-4 days and I ain't stopping. I'm going to run a couple of marathons this year, and you keep on making the goal bigger before you've even taken the first step to actually achieve that particular goal. You know, so it makes it rather difficult for you to go out there and achieve that particular goal. So I just want us to have an action plan, right? This action plan is the one that's going to guide the process of achieving our goals. That action plan is the one that you're going to be able to reference and be able to refer back to and be able to get back in the same emotional state as when you actually went out and set that goal. Let's go back again and use the example actually of the exercise scenario. What if when you went to bed, you actually went to bed early, number one, so that you get the same number of hours that you would usually get. So instead of going to bed at 9, you go to bed at 7:30, so that you factor in the 1.5 hour for exercise. Number two, how about you put your exercise clothes right next to the bed, so that when you jump out of bed, you already have immediately the things that you are going to put on. You don't actually need to go to your wardrobe and figure out where is my short, where is my sweater and my top and my sneakers and so on. You already have it figured out before you even went to bed. Number three, you actually you break down the first few minutes of you waking up, right? There's this marvelous technique that I saw on YouTube of a lady, a very popular lady, but her name doesn't ring a bell at the moment, who actually, when she wakes up, she pretends she works for NASA, and her waking up is a rocket launch. So she'd actually say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and immediately jump out of bed, no turning back. And it has worked for her and a multitude of her followers. So it's a key tool that I'd say employ as well if you find it difficult waking up. But now I get now that you probably see where I'm going with this, right? An action plan will guide your every step. So you know that for me to wake up, let me employ this strategy. Let me immediately put on my clothes. Let me breathe for a few seconds. Let me meditate for a few seconds. Let me start warming up. And then boom, let me go for my run, or let me do my indoor exercises. Let me do my strength training with the tools that I have in house, or let me actually get the key and drive to the gym. So it's difficult, but it's also a bit easy because it depends on you, the tools and techniques that you are going to employ so that you actually achieve those particular goals. The strength then lies with whom? With only you. So people actually get to not do the things that they say they are going to do because they are not prepared. They lack the willpower, they lack the ability to make the decision, and they don't have certain tools and techniques that they can employ so that they can achieve those particular goals that they put forth. So I hope the video was useful, and I know that if you actually get to think around how to achieve the things that you are going to say you are going to achieve, then you probably will by employing certain tools, techniques, and actually reading about that particular thing and finding out within yourself why is it that you set the goal in the first place, because that will guide your ability to achieve that particular goal. Peace out, guys.